Hey guys, this is Valkrin. I've wanted to make a video like this for a while, and it's simply talking about the fact that a lot of people think that there is no talent in the challenger scene in North America, and I don't think that's the case. And I think there are 4 major reasons why people think that, but don't realize it. And the first component of this video is talking about Hotshotgg's Twitter post, basically calling out and making a blanket statement that there is no talent in challenger North American solo queue scene, and I don't think that's the case. And I'm going to prove them wrong here. And my first statement is simply that because you're in Challenger doesn't mean you can play every role well. There are a lot of one-trick pony and champion-specific players, and if they don't get the roles that they main or play or the champions that they're best at, they're simply not going to play at a Challenger level, and it'll result in very one-sided games. You also have players that, might play all the roles pretty well, but they're going to end up laning against a professional player because, a lot of the pros are in Challenger, and they're going to be, in some cases, in the role that they're best at. So you'll have very one-sided games for multiple reasons. So, to put it quite simply, just because you're in Challenger, it doesn't mean you're going to get the role that you're best at, and you're going to have games where you'll have professional players and players that are in the best role that they have against teams that are simply just having to fill because they had 3 people that are best at AD carry, but not all of them can play AD carry. Streamers have a very negative impact on solo queue, and I've always believed this, and I think this is even more extreme now that entertainers are becoming more apparently focused on entertaining than actually just playing. And this is more apparent to some than others, but it's simply more cost effective for them to be more entertaining to watch than for them to play serious. And some of them can get away with playing serious, but for the most part, I think a lot of the more popular streamers are more entertaining, and they just do very entertaining things, and they bring in more viewers, they retain more viewers, and they make more money. So this will result in a lot of troll games, unusual games, just because if it happens while it's on stream, it's very profitable for streamers. But it might not necessarily be profitable for the reputations of the players in the game. These same games are also very high pressured because, if you're in Challenger, chances are every other game or every game you're going to be watched by a large group of people from a stream, and every little mistake you make is going to be nitpicked by the streamer, and it can be just one small mistake that happened because of lag, but a huge audience saw it and they might think that you're bad after that, or that you're flawed or talentless. And in all actuality, it's a mistake that you made, but 50,000 people saw it. I mean, these same people that saw it make these same mistakes, but I mean, just because you're in Challenger doesn't make you not human. And the third and fourth points come down to the fact that just because you're Challenger doesn't mean that you don't have a real life, because quite simply, you're just a normal person. You just are exceptionally good at League of Legends. You're going to have school, you're going to have work, you're going to have errands. I'm a Challenger player, and I have all 3 of those things to do every day. I have a very limited amount of time that I can spend playing the game. And sitting in queue for 10 to 60 minutes, it's not cost effective for me to do that as a person. Like, I would much rather play on a Smurf account than spend 60 minutes of my time when I have a very limited amount of time to play that day in queue, because I could spend that time actually playing the game. And the other main point is that there's simply no motivation to move up once you're in Challenger and you maintain Challenger, because there are no prizes for being any higher rank in Challenger, or no rewards. So, what's the point of playing if you have a limited amount of time to play in a day if the queue times are that long and there are no prizes or rewards? So the TLDR, number 1, most players in Challenger, they can play pretty well. They're in Challenger, they're very good, but they're going to have roles that they're best at, and they're not always going to get those roles. And you're going to have games where people are filling and people are in their best roles and they're against each other, and you'll have very one-sided games. Streamers have a very negative impact on the game because, quite simply, they're going to be paid more to be more entertaining, and that might not necessarily correlate with try-harding and improving, or playing and encouraging your players to try hard and play well. Number 3, most Challenger players have a real life. You have to manage your time, and spending all of that time, or a good portion of that time that you have dedicated to playing the game and solo queue in queue, doesn't make sense. Like, spending 60 minutes in queue, it's pointless when you could just get on a Smurf and have an instant queue. And the fourth point being that there's simply no prizes or rewards for being higher ranked in Challenger, so there's going to be less motivation, less reason to try hard. And when you have these streamers come in and have the fun games that people see on stream, the players that are just in these games, they might be frustrated because they might want to try hard, but overall, it's just going to lead to less motivation for the challenger players to try and move up because of a lot of these factors correlating. So simply put, guys, there are a lot of reasons why it might seem like there's no talent in solo queue and challenger in North America, but I don't agree with that. I think there's a lot of talent. I just think it's being overlooked because there are just so many factors and variables going into it. A lot of things can be overlooked. Like, a lot of times people judge a skill of a player from just one play. And, you know, a good first impression is very important, especially in League of Legends. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys later.